For our final assignment for the final research paper, I believe the task at hand is to deliver a presentation on the research paper, which we just turned in, including, of course, 5 citations, because college, I've learned this year, my first year at college, is very, very big on citations. Anyway, you've no doubt read my paper. You no doubt loved my paper, because it was an absolutely fabulous piece on Henry VIII. I'll no doubt be receiving yet another A for it at any moment. But I feel like I said everything I needed to say about Henry in my paper, and bless you, Murderface, bless you. I think I'd like to go outside the box, which I understand kind of sums up what I've been doing, what we've been doing together, what this journey we've been on for the entire semester. And you've been so far beyond patient with me, and I would beg you to indulge me just a few minutes more here on this final assignment. And I'd like to tell you about some of the things I'm reading now, and some thoughts I have on writing that perhaps we'll do instead. And if I've offended, just think on this, and all is mended, that you but slumbered here while these visions did appear. So a good night to you. Give me your hand, if we be friends, and Robin shall restore amends, which is my first citation. Act 5, Scene 1, page 18, Midsummer Night's Dream by William Shakespeare. The purpose of writing is about telling stories. Writing is about describing the world as you see it. One of the greatest single writers in the world, one of the most brilliant writers living today, is Neil Gaiman. In American Gods, he says, one describes a tale best by telling the tale, you see. The way one describes a story to oneself or to the world is by telling the story. It's a balancing act, and it's a dream. The more accurate the map, the more it resembles the territory. The most accurate map possible would be the territory, and thus would be perfectly accurate and perfectly useless. The tale is the map. That is the territory, and you must remember this. From American Gods and Citation 2. Books come in many forms, and stories come in many forms. A book I go back to time and time again, 84 Charing Cross Road by Helene Hanff. A charming classic tale first published in 1970, bringing together 20 years of correspondence between Helen Hanff, a freelance writer living in New York, and a used book dealer in London. Through the years, never meeting, separated both geographically and culturally, they share a winsome correspondence. And that was a citation from the back cover, but in case, for my purposes of my grade here this evening, which my entire semester's work is no doubt being based on, let us open at random and read a little bit from Helene Hanff. I write to you from under the bed, that where the catalyst drove me. I mean, it passeth understanding. Will you tell Megan Wells she is out of her cotton-picking mind, and if she's that bored with civilization, why doesn't she just move to a Siberian salt mine? I think that writing and words are like music in that you don't even always have to know the language. Take, for instance, Federico Garcia Lorca, one of my favorite poets. He says in there, vivimos en celdas de cristal, en colmena de aire. Nos besamos a través de cristal. Maravillosa cárcel, cuya puerta es la luna. Which is beautiful and translates roughly to, we live in crystal cells in a beehive made of air and kiss each other through the glass. Marvelous prison whose gateway is the moon. Words work. Words work no matter what language they're in. Another beautiful bit of poetry would be de ala hasta acá, de acá hasta ala. Hay cosas divertidas en cualquier lugar. Which works in any language because it is, in fact, Dr. Seuss. Un pez, dos peces, pez rojo, pez azul. I think my thesis statement might be thinking outside the box. And I would say here at the end of my first year of college that one thing I've learned is that you need to think outside the box. You can think in the box, you can do the assignment, you can do the lessons, you can get your grades, but it isn't until you start learning, you start loving, and you start... That was a tale, and that tale's ended. Our revels now are ended. These are actors, as I foretold you, were all spirits, and they are melted into air, into thin air. And like the baseless fabric of this vision, the cloud-capped towers, the gorgeous palaces, the temples, the great globe itself, all of which inherit they shall dissolve, and like this insubstantial pageant, faded, leaving not a rack behind. We are such stuff as dreams are made on, and our little life is rounded with sleep. Not apparently for Murderface, though. Teacher, thank you. Thank you so much. I hope you've enjoyed my research paper presentation on Henry VIII. And with that, I will say, buenas noches y gracias por esta noche.